Rivers of Carbon is run by the River Restoration Centre, which is not-for-profit, in partnership with Greening Australia, another not-for-profit. And that gives us a lot of flexibility because we don't go into regions unless we're invited. And it also means... So today we're here in Breadalbane. We've been asked by the local community to come and work with them to look at what is great about this region and how we can add more to it in terms of our work for boosting biodiversity, which is birds, trees, bugs, making this area really hum, if you like, with biodiversity, as well as sequestering carbon. So carbon is really about getting trees, getting shrubs back in that ground and holding that carbon in.
We've got a lot to tell about country. How we used to manage it, how we used it, and looked after it. We didn't abuse the country.
This is Carrick suppressor, or tall sedge. It's a very hardy plant that copes with sort of wetting and drying. This beautiful little plant here, feathery thing, is...
Interestingly, a lot of people don't realise that the sorts of wetlands and streams that dry out and then re-flood are actually often a lot more productive and valuable for wildlife and biodiversity than the ones that are permanently wet. And that's because there's interesting chemical reactions that happen when you dry and then re-wet and then dry and then re-wet. And those chemical reactions that happen in the soil and in the plants actually make them more productive.
Our pathways are mainly waterways, because waterways are something that we really depended on, because, as you know, nobody in this world can live without water. Everything we ever needed, the natural environment provides it for us, so that's why we need to really look after country.
These sorts of small wetlands and creeks and rivers are actually really important stopover sites for a lot of birds that move. Many of Australia's species, while they're not technically migratory like the US type species you might see, some are, a lot of them are nomadic. They move around the landscape and they take advantage of whatever resources they can find while they're moving. And what I'm calling a stopover site there is if they're trying to get somewhere, and it's a long way away, they need somewhere to stop and drink and feed and have a rest. And these sorts of small wetlands, especially the one like yours, the Breadalbane wetland down here, can be incredibly important as stopover sites for birds on the move.
It is Ngunnawal land.
They have native title.
Yes.
Over it. Yeah.
How big is the area? I think it's 60 acres.
Living within that natural sort of regime, we sort of built up a better understanding of living within the country. So we sort of cared for the country, and we're still doing that in this day and age as well. I do a lot of land care work.
I suppose there's quite a lot of resilience still here. There's quite a lot of native species that have bounced back since they've been given the opportunity and the stock has been restricted. Lots of native grasses, particularly along this area and this area. I mean, this property would have been maybe ploughed quite a lot of times over 180 years or so, but I don't think they've come.
What are some of the things we can do to help support these landscapes for birds? We can plant native plant species, but usually our native birds prefer native plant species. They can take advantage of some exotics, but generally the native plant species are the ones that provide what they need.
So it's about practical ways that we can feel that we're doing something in response to climate change, rather than focusing on the endless debates that we hear in the media where we're left feeling quite powerless. This is about getting out and doing something real.